As you probably know, your diet is very important if you're going to be doing a combat sport. Sean O'Malley even said one of the main things that made a difference in his performance is his diet. But it can get very complicated because you have many different people saying what the best diet is. And you have people saying that certain things you thought were healthy is actually cancerous and vice versa. So today I'm just going to give you 3 easy guidelines you could follow that will help fuel your body as someone doing combat sports. The first very simple thing to follow is just making sure you're eating enough protein. The word protein comes from the Greek word proteos, and that means of first importance. And that's because when you train, you create damage in your body, and protein gives your body the amino acids it needs to repair itself stronger than it was before. And it's debated how much protein you need to eat a day, but if you train a combat sport, I would recommend somewhere around zero point 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 150 pounds, you would have to eat 120 grams of protein a day. So for that much protein, an example would be 1 pound of ground beef, 4 eggs, and 1.5 cups of Greek yogurt. So obviously, that's not an insane amount of food, but it will be something you need to space out and plan because you can't just go the full day without eating and then trying to eat everything at night before you go to bed. The second thing is to mainly eat whole foods. I talk about this in a lot of my other videos, but with the majority of packaged foods, if you flip it over to read the ingredients lists, it's a bunch of stuff you probably can't even pronounce. And if you can pronounce it, it probably sounds like a spell someone would use in a Harry Potter movie. Of course, not all of those ingredients are bad for you, but a lot of them are. And with a lot of processed foods, they're designed to keep you wanting more and more and kind of have you addicted to it. And something that I think is super messed up is that a lot of these foods are marketed towards children, but that's a conversation for another day. But when I say eat more whole foods, an example would be ground beef, because if you flip over the package of a ground beef to see the ingredients list, there isn't really a list, it just says ground beef. And this isn't with all whole foods, but there's usually a lot more nutrients in them. Like look at the nutrients in some bone broth, or look at the nutrients in a bell pepper. There's actually more vitamin C in a bell pepper than there is in orange. And most people know vitamin C as helping with immunity, but it's super important for helping with collagen production, which helps supports your tendons and ligaments, which is something you'll need if you're going to be training a combat sport. You're not going to get these kinds of nutrients from a bag of pirate booty. The last thing is carbs before and after your workouts. That's because carbs break down into glucose, which your body then stores as glycogen in your muscles. When glycogen gets low, you fatigue faster and your performance drops, which could come in the form of getting beat up in sparring, or getting sloppy technique and getting hurt, or just not having as good a workout as you could have had. And it's important to eat a carb after a workout to replenish your glycogen stores for your next workout. Basically, you just emptied your gas tank, so you want to refill it. Also, a rule of thumb that I learned from my personal training certification is that any workout lasting 90 minutes or more, you should have some form of intra-workout carb. A lot of people eat gummy bears and that works, but like I said in my previous point, I'm more of a whole foods kind of guy, so I prefer something like honey. This is good to do if you're someone who takes more than one martial arts class a day, because at the gym I work at, a lot of people, they'll do the strength and conditioning class and then they'll do the kickboxing class. If you're one of them, I definitely have some form of carb in between the workouts. But those are 3 really simple things you could do to help optimize your diet as a martial artist. But if you want more advice on how to take care of your body through this whole martial arts process, make sure to subscribe. Also, here's another video you might find helpful. And if you have any questions, just ask me in the comment section below. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.